Hi, I'm Shawn Nelson, inventor of Sactionals, and I'm gonna show you how to plan your layout and set up your Sactionals. Use your seat cushions to plan your layout. They're lightweight and they are exactly the same size as the seat frame that they will sit on. So if I wanna make a long couch, maybe a sectional, I will lay them out, see if they fit the room, and then plan around that. In this case, my couch is just a little bit too long to fit my space. And I have to remember there'll be another 6 inches of a side, 6 inches of a back in those places, right? But this gives me a good idea of kind of how it fits in the room. And I'm seeing it's just a little bit too long over here. The great thing about Sactionals is you can arrange them deep or long. Just by turning this corner piece deep, I'm able to shave 6 inches off the length and create a really cool moment here with the shades, where I could have it long and sticking out, or I could turn it sideways. And that gap over here between these two pieces will be filled in with the arm or the side. Once you know what layout you're doing, replace the seat cushions with the seat frames. These are a little bit heavier, and that's why we start with the cushions. In this case, we'll have the corner piece deep and the rest of the pieces long. That'll give me a nice chaise Sactional arrangement that will fit the room perfectly. Stay organized. I can't emphasize this enough. Stack your shoes, stack your clamps, keep everything in nice, neat piles. It always helps with the setup process. This is a Sactional shoe, a block of wood, impervious, guaranteed for life. Don't lay the shoes out first. In this case, have your seat frames exactly where you want them to be, and then lift the seat frame and put the shoe up onto the foot. This is wrong, but this is right. It says face up on the face up of the shoe. Use these guidelines to align the shoe with the edges of your Sactionals piece. Here and here will allow the foot to drop in nicely. Now, spin your shoe any way you want in order to get it to the spot that works for the configuration you're building. In this case, an arm will go right here and it will cover up the shoe nicely. Corners like this one on the inside of an L sectional can be tricky. The key is to put the shoe in a position where it will be hidden. And so in this case, I'll put the shoe on the inside corner of this front piece, but if I were to leave it in that spot, it would be sticking out. So I rotate it here and connect it to its neighbor, but now it will be sticking out in one corner. So the easiest thing to do is to rotate it all the way back and simply use it to prop up the other one. I'll be able to utilize the foot on this one and the foot on this one to connect via the next shoe. So in this corner, I've actually got two shoes. One of them is doing no work connecting. It's just underneath this foot, and the other one is hidden, connecting these two seats together. That will leave this sectional unconnected at this point. And that's the one place where we will use a Sactionals clamp to connect seat to seat, if you like. Even out here on a front corner of a chaise sectional, I'd recommend putting a shoe there just so that it looks nice. It's not necessary to have a shoe on a floating front corner that's not connected to anything else, but it does help match the sofa with the rest of the room. The more Sactional shoes you have connected to more pieces, the more difficult it will be to place the last few shoes because the entire sofa is now beginning to be locked together. So just lift it up, get it in place, and if it doesn't align perfectly, wiggle the pieces around a little bit until the feet line up with the shoe holes. Don't be afraid to give it a good stomp if you need to, just to get it all the way down. Now that I have all of my seat frames in place, locked into shoes, I'll begin placing sides. Don't place any sides until you have all of your seat frames in place. Placing sides should be easy. However, the more pieces you have together, the more difficult it will become, particularly in corners. Don't be afraid to knock your Sactionals a little bit with your foot or do what you have to do to make the shoes line up with the feet of the sides. Sometimes dealing with many Sactionals pieces that need to line up and fall into the holes together, it might require a little bit of effort or even sitting on a side to kind of force it down just a little bit into that shoe hole. The shoe holes are beveled to allow the feet to find their way in, but sometimes they just need a little bit of help. Now that all of your Sactional seat frames and sides are placed into shoes, begin to place the clamps, but not until this point. If you place your clamps too early, it locks the framework together too tightly and won't allow for the flexibility you need to adjust each seat or side and align them with the shoe holes. Place the clamps at the end after you've already got all the shoes in place. Remember, on the inside of a sectional, where a long Sactional seat meets up with a Sactional seat that's been placed in deep, you'll end up with a shoe that's not connected at this joint. If I were to kick this, the Sactional can slide apart slightly at this point. For this reason, it's up to you if you want to clamp seat to seat. You simply take a Sactional's clamp, wedge it into one of these holes, and get it started on the next bit. To get it all the way down, give it a good stomp. The seat frames are in shoes, the sides are in shoes, all clamps are in place. Now it's on to seat cushions. Really easy, favorite part. There's Velcro on the bottom of the seat cushions and the top of the seat frames to keep these cushions in place in the form of a chaise or maybe an ottoman where it could otherwise get knocked off. Once your seat cushions are in place, back pillows are pretty obvious. Your Sactionals are all set up, it's looking great. All that's left to do is enjoy the total comfort that only Lovesac can bring.